once you're on his list, there's only one way off.
Hello, welcome to Cynic Critique, where we get real with cult films. I'm your host Thomas, and I'm here with my brother and co-host, my bro-host, Brian.
Hello.
And this is part 2 of our top 10, so this will be 5-1.
Yeah, our top 5, I guess.
Yeah, our top 5, yeah. And Brian will be starting us off.
Okay, so number 5. I'm really hoping you have this in here. It's another film from 2022 that didn't get a release until this year for the UK. It had a very limited release. It's written and directed by Mike Cheslick and co-written by Ryland Brixton Cole too, who also plays the lead.
No.
It's Hundreds of Beavers.
Nice.
I had so much fun with this film. Yeah, so much laughter and maybe the best comedy of the year. Yeah, without a doubt. It's silent era movies like your Charlie Chaplin's with Looney Tunes gags and video game mechanics. What is not to love about that? I did love it. So good. I mean, you watch that trailer and you instantly know what you're in for, and that is what you get. It is just laugh after laugh after laugh. I probably laughed once every 5 to 10 minutes. Just once. Yeah, just once. No more. I was counting. Such a unique film in the best ways possible as well. I love the poster. I love the fact the beavers are just men in suits. It's so good. I even like that it's black and white. I think it just really works and allows them to get away with that smaller budget for special effects as well when they do use them.
Yeah.
But, I mean, so good. The synopsis, as IMDb has it, I'm assuming that's what you wanted, is in the 19th century supernatural winter epic, a drunken Applejack salesman must go from zero to hero and become North America's greatest fur trapper by defeating hundreds of beavers. There's so much to love about this film. I cannot express how much I love this film. It's one of the most unique films I've seen. It's one of the funniest films I've seen. And, you know, just because of all the snow, I could probably make this an annual winter watch as well. Just cozy up by the fire with a hot chocolate and watch hundreds of beavers.
Yeah, just finding like Winter Wonderland and
There's movies to watch next year.
that's what this list is now.
I mean, it's just a genuine delight. I had a lot of fun with this film. A hell of a lot of fun with it.
Yeah, you could probably watch it as a collection of shorts as well, I guess. About it's done.
Yeah, because it's like that Looney Tunes sort of setting. So I guess like this is one gag kind of thing. Yeah, it would work that way. I just love how like there's parts where he like just drops through the floor to a hole in the snow. And when he pops up is somewhere else.
Yeah.
Just like in Looney Tunes. And they use that mechanic as a traverse for him to get about the area. And you get the little map drawn come up and just phenomenal film.
It was very well put together.
Yeah. I think it was nearly 2 hours long. And it does not slow down with the jokes. You know, they're very consistent. And
Yeah.
just so good. If I'd made that film, I would be so proud and retire on it. I'd be like, I cannot do better than this. And the fact it's like such a simple idea.
Yeah.
Just really impressive filmmaking and just a great fun film. Probably one you could watch with a family. Like, I don't think there's anything particularly wrong for young kids to watch from memory. I could be wrong. IMDb says a 12A, so yeah.
Yeah, it was good, yeah. I really enjoyed it.
Yeah, I did. Brilliant work. Just the fact that beavers are just people in suits. It's so funny.
Like dumb fun, I think.
Yeah. Again, just proper Looney Tunes style comedy. Like that slapstick with the silent era and very well put together. That's my number 5.
Yeah.
Yeah. Wait, is that not even in your top 10?
No.
You're despicable. I'm really not liking you this year.
I don't like
Okay, glad we're starting 2025.
We're on to my number 5 then.
Yeah.
All right. My number 5 is Me, Myself and the Void.
I think I'm dead.
You don't look so good.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure I died.
Oh.
Which is, to me, another
Go
great
great. Good.
comedy of the year.
Yeah. I
Had to remove it.
Yeah, and I was just happy having hundreds of beavers there. But yeah, I really liked Me, Myself and the Void. That was an honourable mention for me.
The synopsis for that one is, trapped in a mysterious void outside the bounds of time and space, a struggling stand-up comedian must investigate how his body wound up motionless on his bathroom floor and wake himself up before it's too late. As soon as this film started, I was just in with it. It was so good. Oh, I didn't name the right director. It's It's Tim Hortokit, and it's co-written by Nick Aldershaw. This was such a unique comedy, and balances like a drama and like rom-com aspects and other things.
And a murder mystery as well, in a way.
Yeah,
Because the reason he's in this void is he's unconscious on his bathroom floor.
yeah, and it just cracks me up because he has his best friend in his head and all that stuff.
Best friend is great as well. Like, very charismatic, very charming guy. And his best friend isn't the stand-up.
No, I just thought this was really well crafted as well, really well put. Yeah, I really loved it. And like I said, as soon as this one started, I was just like, this is in. This for me, I think, was more comedy of the year.
Yeah. I can't find much of when this was released. Looking at when reviews this year,
Yeah,
it is very low budget, very independent,
yeah,
but great use of sets as well, like how they've used his apartment and how it transitions from his apartment to further in the void down an empty street with just a road kind of thing, or from his apartment to the stand-up stage where he was performing. And
yeah. I just loved it.
yeah,
Transitions and everything. It was just so well done.
and he's kind of looking at the wrongdoings in his life, whereas recent times as
Yeah, like I said, it has all these different aspects to it, and it's all like put together like a great jigsaw piece. And it's really well done.
and it works a lot, I guess, kind of through sitcom tropes and logic in a way, with the roommate and the girlfriend and the friend.
It's such a simple premise.
Yeah.
As well. It's great. Loved it.
I had a lot of fun. I'm glad it's in your top 5 because I really wanted it in my top 10 and I just couldn't find room for it, and that's why it had to be an honourable mention. Uniquely done. Very cheap to rent and buy off YouTube, I think, is where we got it from.
Yeah.
Probably on Amazon Prime and other places to rent. I don't know where it's officially streaming, if anywhere, for free. Well, not free, but through a subscription.
Yeah.
But I mean, I think it was a couple of quid to get it off YouTube, and it was
Definitely worth.
yeah,
Like
definitely
in my top 5. So
Also, I can't remember who recommended this. I put a post out in a few places on social media, not under Cynic Critique, just as my personal self, to try and find some more out there films from this year, less talked about ones, and this was one of them. Same with your action picks. Well, the last one, Life After Fighting. Anyway.
Yeah.
But I had found that myself earlier in the year and forgot about it.
yeah.
But yeah, I was very pleased to find myself, and the boy. It was.
No, I'm glad you found it.
I had a feeling it was going to be in your top 10, but I really weren't sure enough on it. Very pleased.
Within like 5 minutes, I was like, I love this.
Yeah, such a good premise. And not enough talk about it as well, so it's very nice that it's in your top 5. Like I said, because I kept Hundreds of Beavers in, which definitely had more talk online than me, myself, and the void.
Yeah. Like I say, it juggles it so well, and I really love balance on a film like that.
Especially when it's not just one genre like
Yeah.
this. There is actually like a murder mystery there because he thinks he's dying on the bathroom floor and
Yeah.
he's trying to figure out if he is, what happened to him, has he done it himself? And
Yeah.
there was actually a big name in it.
Not a great big name, but there's Kelly Marie Tran.
Yeah.
Known for Star Wars Last Jedi.
I can't remember what else. But
Rose. Yeah, I don't really know her from anything else, but that's her biggest role that I'm aware of.
yeah. But other than that, I didn't know anyone in this, I don't think.
No.
The best friend is just great, if you got his name. And the lead guy reminded me of a little bit of, is it David Krumholtz from Numbers and Oppenheimer last year? And
The lead guy was Jack DeCena, and he played Jack. He was great.
a very Nick Miller type
Yeah.
from New Girl, if anyone's familiar. He was very much that sort of role, wasn't he?
Yeah.
Like a slacker,
Yeah.
like trying to do good, but not really caring.
Yeah. He was a good lead.
Yeah.
Chris W. Smith was the best friend.
Right.
Chris.
He has some real charm to him, that guy.
Oh, yeah. He was very charismatic.
Very high energy when he comes in and stuff.
He was great. He did a great job. They all did great. They said this was such a great film.
Yeah.
And very well balanced. And I said, I love a great balance in film.
Yeah, it juggled the genres very well. 'Cause
Yeah.
a lesser film, it would have felt like a mess.
Yeah.
And this was your number 5.
Yeah.
Oh, so we both had a comedy at number 5.
Yeah.
Nice. Very independent comedy as well.
Yeah. We went to your...
Yeah. My number 4 could be higher up for you. It was a 2023 release in most places. I think we got it in January, maybe February.
Going on that description, I think I have it higher up.
If I said it's written and directed by Sean Durkin.
Yeah, that's higher up for me.
Okay, do I say what it is or do we leave it?
We'll leave it.
So we're on to your number 3.
My number 4. Number 3.
Oh, sorry.
four.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, my number 4.
It's because we've swapped the order to what we did on the first half.
Yeah. Anyway, my number 4, this might surprise you, I don't think you'll have it. It's Amber Alert.
Oh,
You saw Charlotte Bryce.
We're trying to catch up to him.
We're doing like 100 miles an hour. If he sees us, he could do something crazy.
no, sadly, not even an honourable mention for me.
Wow.
Yeah, great film though. Well done.
Yeah.
Got some mixed reviews though.
Yeah, I can kind of see why, but I really loved it. It's directed and co-written by Kerry Bellesser, and the other co-writer is Joshua Oram. It was kind of a remake of a 2012 film they did. I thought it was a great thriller. The synopsis is a rideshare turns into a high-stakes game of cat and mouse after it follows a car fitting the description of an Amber Alert. I would say it was kind of unique, and I really loved the confines and them in the car and the whole following this other car. I just really loved it. Characters are good. Hayden Panettiere is the co-lead with Tyler James Williams.
Yeah, that's the cheerleader from Heroes, and
Yeah.
Chris from Everybody Hates Chris.
Yeah, all right.
That's who they'll always be to me.
Oh, they were really good. I think Tyler James Williams does a really great job with his. I loved his character.
He's the is it an Uber driver?
Yeah,
Or I don't know if they could say Uber driver, so maybe a service similar to Uber. I guess.
he was the driver anyway, and he took on this like last job that he sort of said,
After she begs him to, like, I need to get here, so I need to go home for my kid's birthday and all this and the other. And he just gets dragged along into this whole thing, and I just really liked his character. I think I only had one small thing with this film, and it was due to his character. Nothing wrong with his character. It's just something I really wanted to see for his character. Yeah.
And you don't get it.
You wanted him to snap, did you? He was like, no, we're off home to my kid, puts the foot down, gets out, you're walking, and he just goes home halfway through the film, and that's it. That's where it ends.
No,
You don't know what happens with the Amber Alert kid.
no, it weren't that. I just really loved the whole thriller still.
Yeah. Yeah, it was very well done, especially towards the end.
I have a few minor problems, but overall, I thought this was really, really well done. Just the setting of just putting them in the car.
We don't really have this in England, but do you actually know what an Amber Alert is and why it's an Amber Alert?
I don't know why it's called an Amber Alert.
Right. An Amber Alert is
The level of danger.
you would think. An Amber Alert is an American system that instantly pings everyone's phone with an Amber Alert.
Yeah.
And it's named after a girl who went missing called Amber.
Right.
Yeah, convenient name.
Right.
So I guess it has like a double entendre, like those outside the United States. I think it's more of an LA thing as well. I'm not 100% on that.
Yeah.
So it's a pretty remarkable system.
Yeah.
And I guess that's putting cell phones to good use, or mobile phones to good use, to have a system like that.
Yeah. To be fair, I think this is one of the few films where I don't have a problem with the cell phone being a huge plot device. Because it is.
She even uses an earbud
Yeah.
quite creatively, I thought, at one point.
But overall, I thought this was great thriller and very underrated.
Yeah, I liked it. But it has some mixed reviews judging like the character's logic and just bits like that.
Yeah.
But I think with a film, if you're into the plot and you're in the suspense, you don't really question it. So I would say they're the people that aren't enjoying it to the same degree.
I really enjoyed it. I was glad I watched it.
That was one of your picks to watch when we were trying to round out our 2024.
Yeah. I happened to come across it. I can't remember how. It sounded good to me, and then it kind of exceeded expectations, I guess.
The cast intrigued me because I like the actor that was Chris in Everybody Hates Chris.
Yeah.
I can't remember his name.
Tyler James Williams.
Yeah. They put him in The Walking Dead not long before we stopped watching.
I didn't see him in it, so.
Oh, then it was the season after when I took a few years and was like, you know what, I'm going to try and get back into it.
Yeah.
And he's a great actor in that, but
Yeah.
he could be doing more. And it was nice to see Hayden Panettiere do another film because since Heroes, I think I've only actually seen her in Bring It On, or one of the Bring It Ons, and Scream 4.
Yeah. And the latest screens.
Yeah.
About that.
Yeah. And she's also really good in Until Dawn.
Yeah.
The video game.
Yeah.
Which has a film coming out this year.
Yeah. Which I'm not looking forward to.
No, I'm not. For me, it seems pointless in doing it if you're not bringing the cast back.
Yeah.
I mean, it'd probably cost a lot to get Rami Malek now.
Yeah.
You know, he's done a Bond film and he's done the Queen one. What was it called? Bohemian Rhapsody.
Yeah.
He was Freddie Mercury in that, and that got a lot of attention for him. Yet I loved him since Mr. Robot.
Yeah.
I'd like to say I was there from the beginning, but he probably did other stuff before Mr. Robot that I haven't seen.
Yeah, it did.
What was that? Your number 4?
Yeah, we're on your number 3.
Okay. My number 3, it opened to a wider audience at the beginning of this year for the UK, but it actually debuted at a film festival in 2023.
Right.
It's written and directed by Paris Zakila. It's a British film. It's also one of those, I think, balanced many genres very well, shifting seamlessly from drama to thriller to horror. It's Raging Grace.
No, Mr. Garrett, I'm Joy. This is my daughter.
Grace. I saw her in my dream.
Yeah. The synopsis, as IMDb has it, is an undocumented Filipino immigrant lands a job as a care worker for a terminal old man, securing a better life for her and her daughter, but a dark discovery threatens to destroy everything she's strived for and holds dear. I thought the performances were great. The mother-daughter relationship in the film between the leads were phenomenal, like really well done.
Yeah.
David Heyman as Mr. Garrett, he's like the old guy that she's caring for. Really well done. It takes some twists and turns you don't expect.
Yeah.
Just an amazing mashup of genre as well. Like how it's seamlessly shifted through horror, suspense, gothic horror, family drama, thriller again. And even comedy. There's some real good moments of levity in it.
Right.
We got a Q&A with the director, and he said that one of the films he studied was Matilda.
Yeah.
And I think that's kind of obvious with how he treats the girl in it.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think what the girl's called.
Grace.
Was she Grace?
I think the young girl's Grace.
I didn't think she was. And IMDb on the web browser has a terrible layout. I think the mother was Joy, wasn't she?
Yeah, the mother was Joy.
Great film anyway. I don't know if it's streaming anywhere, but it's well worth checking out.
Definitely. I really like that one as well.
When we got the Q&A with the director and writer, he was saying how he wrote the film to be, I guess, an answer back to the immigrant narrative. And there's a term after, I can't remember what it is, and I should know because I wrote a paper about it. Anyway, he was exploring themes of like the NHS, immigrant workers through the NHS and the stories they tell, and also, I guess, British history and how we treat immigrants and foreign countries in our own culture. And I think this film depicts a really good telling of that. And I found it a very good film that plays on a lot of genre tropes really well. It's a film where you're never quite sure what the next scene is going to be. And I think that's a strong part of the narrative for this film. It made it work really well, and it's why it's number 3. I mean, it could have been number 1. Yeah, it could have been for me. I could not take this film out of my top 5. I don't think it's just a great film. I found it a fun film, but I also think it's a very important film.
Right.
Like one of the most important from this year in terms of its themes and its elements and stuff.
Yeah. I'm just realizing that I'm all wrong on your top 10 right now.
Yeah? Yeah. Oh, I can't wait to see what you thought I had. I didn't make any predictions for yours. You didn't seem too sure when I said, shall I write a top 10 for
I counted it, listed like my films out and
Yeah.
my honourable mentions, and then I was just like, you might have some of these. So I just kind of made a note of what I thought you might have, and I had about 10 that I thought you might have, and I've just been like, no, because I haven't had like 3 of these now, and I'm just like,
Well, what was the others? Well, I don't say actually. 'Cause some might be in the top 2, I guess. But that's my number 3 anyway, Raging Grace.
so I'm my number 3.
Yeah.
Yeah. Was that your number 4?
Raging Grace?
Yeah.
No, it's my number 3.
Oh, yeah, you've gone first, haven't you?
Yeah, because you said you had my
I'm on-
number 4.
I'm on number 3.
Higher up.
I'm on number 3 then.
What were your number 4?
My number 4 was Amber.
Oh, yeah.
I'm on number 3 now.
Can't pull this order. It's weird when I can't talk about one
Ah, right.
and or you.
And yet realise you haven't spoken about one.
Yeah.
I'm fine. I just keep talking about mine. I'm going down my list perfectly fine. You haven't stopped me at all. I don't think you'll stop me on this one either. My number 3 then is Caddo Lake.
Yeah, that's my number 1.
I don't think it is.
And even give it an honourable mention, even though I had a lot of fun with it.
I loved it. I can't really say truly one of my reasons for loving this film because
It goes places though. You could say that too. And also, don't look it up before watching. It's another missing persons thriller. That seems to be a theme of yours. I love them.
Mom? She called us out? How long has she been gone?
We're gonna search the whole lake. Either somebody's taken her or she's hurt.
2024, the year of missing people.
I don't think I'll read too much about it. You pretty much said what I would read from the synopsis. So I'm not even going to read the synopsis for this one. It's directed and written by Logan George and Celine Held.
Yeah.
I think they do a superb job with this one. Like I said, it's just fantastic. I could have probably put this at number 1.
I can see why.
I could have probably put any of these, I'd say,
Yeah.
a lot of these at number 1. It stars Dylan O'Brien and Eliza Scanlon, and I think they do great as well.
Yeah.
Both leads, actors, performances, drama, everything's, again, balanced really well throughout this film. This is probably one of the ones where I really invested into what's happening. It does everything so well. And like I said, I really can't talk about much of it because of how it all unfolds. And I just
and I'm not even sure what the trailer gives away because I never saw the full trailer. I saw a bit of it on mute because I watch most trailers on my phone on mute because I don't have the sound on my.
I knew nothing. You just do all watch this. I knew Dylan O'Brien was in it.
Yeah.
And that was about it.
I think I said it was a thriller.
Yeah, I think that's all I knew. I was expecting maybe a horror or anything. I really didn't know what to expect going in as I watched it and it all unfolded.
Great cinematography, great performances, great setting.
Yeah.
I really like the swamp setting.
Yeah.
The swamp setting, I think, is perfect for the story they're telling.
And again, like I said, throughout my top 10, I've thought about films I've enjoyed throughout. The least sort of problems throughout. I've tried to put them in an order, how much I remember them and the likability I had for them. And this was one, and like I said, it's just topped near enough everything. I could have put it at number 1, and there's probably a reason I haven't.
I'm quite liking your top 10.
I'll get into that later.
I'm more impressed with your top 10 this year than last year.
Last year was very predictable.
I mean, if there's one thing I am, it's predictable. I think you'll know my top 2.
I don't know. I don't know. You surprised me so far.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we can go into your number 2.
Do you want to have a look at your predictions for me and see if you can guess my number 2?
There's a couple of films you haven't mentioned yet.
Yeah, there is. Yeah, because I've got 2 spaces left.
There's 4 that you could possibly name now. So I've definitely been wrong about 2 of these.
Anyway, my number 2 is from a writer and director of a film I loved from a couple years back. a British film, St Maud.
Right.
If that's a clue to what this is.
Right, I haven't got this one.
It's written and directed by Rose Glass. It's co-written by Veronika Tofilaska.
Yeah.
It's Love Lies Bleeding. Is that one of the films you had?
Nope, I forgot about this.
My God. And one film I was looking forward to this year. It gave me what I wanted from the trailer.
This here's Jackie.
Hi.
She needs a job. Says she'll do anything.
Yeah, you like guns?
Not really.
What are you doing here then?
Loved it.
I kind of fell off with it.
The synopsis, as IMDb says, is reclusive gym manager Lou Falls, I read that as her name. Reclusive gym manager Lou falls hard for Jackie, an ambitious bodybuilder headed through town to Vegas in pursuit of her dream. But their love ignites violence, pulling them deep into the web of Lou's criminal family. Kristen Stewart stars as Lou. Then we've got Katie O'Brien as Jackie. Dave Franco is in this as JJ, Jenna Malone as Beth, and Ed Harris doing another phenomenal performance as always as Lou Sr. I really like this crime caper. I really did. It works so well. It's a great crime drama with an element of romance. And it really just goes to places. There's a scene towards the end that people may know. I don't want to say. I'm still not sure I like that particular moment myself.
Nice, that's
It's pretty cool. They're kind of setting up towards it. I need to watch this film again to really get an understanding of that. I really do. But I absolutely adored this film. I thought it looked great. I loved the costuming. You know, it just felt very 90s. I loved the cinematography so much. The aesthetic of this film was incredible. Just the way they used light. There's a scene in the trailer that stuck with me of Ed Harris with a red glow pointing a gun towards the camera. There's elements of it that feels almost dreamlike in a way. Just such a great book. Another great film from Rose Glass, and I can't wait to see what she does next. Because St Maud was incredible and also very different to this.
I agree with you on the cinematography. I love the look of this.
Also performances.
Yeah, performances were great, but your one minor thing I think just really took it out for me. I just couldn't get behind that bit at all.
And your number 2 is Megalopolis.
How do you know?
Am I right?
No.
Oh, damn.
It's not even on here, man.
It's Joker Folie à Deux.
Keep forgetting that exists.
Why? It's not that bad.
Like, it's not that bad. I just didn't rate much to it. So my number 2, I think you mentioned this earlier.
Oh, is it my number 4?
I think it was. Was that
Harris
right?
Dickinson.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The Iron Claw.
Ever since I was a child, people said my family was cursed. Mom tried to protect us with God. Pop tried to protect us with wrestling. He said if we were the toughest, the strongest, nothing had ever hurt us.
Yeah, my number 2. Yeah, this is a film that I watched earlier in the year, and it stuck with me throughout the year as one that I've really liked. And writer-director Sean Durkin, he did a great job at bringing the true story together.
Yeah.
I kind of put it number 2 because of how memorable and how great the performances are and how it all comes together. Even my minor problems with it, of like bending from truth, it didn't bother me because I do feel there is reason.
It's done for time constraints of a film, really, from what I remember the errors of the history.
Yeah.
Like, what happened.
Yeah.
They just confine it to a shorter period of time, if I'm right.
Yeah, and they do take some bits out, and I understand why. I know some people feel it detracts from what really happened, but at the same time, there is a lot of sad stuff that happened to this family.
Yeah, the Von Erich. It's the Von Erich wrestling family, for those that don't know.
Yeah, sorry.
They're still wrestling now, aren't they?
Yeah, they've been on.
The family, I mean, not...
Yeah, the family now.
that are with Dustin Rhodes as trios champions at Ring of Honor.
Yeah.
Or they were at the time of...
I believe they still are. I hope they still are. But yeah, this really stuck with me. And like I said, we watched it early on in the year. I knew I said to you, I think this is going to be in my top 10 in the year, and it stuck, and it's there now. So yeah, Zac Efron,
phenomenal ensemble, really.
Jeremy Allen White,
yeah,
and as you said, Harris Dickinson.
Yeah.
I probably keep going, but
I mean, Zac Efron's the lead, really, isn't he?
Yeah.
Holt McCallany plays Fritz Von Erich, the wrestler. It opens with Zac Efron's father.
Yeah.
Phenomenal role on his part. Great performance. I mean, everyone else is doing a great job, but for me, it's his personality of these characters that kind of steals the film. I guess being that titular Iron Claw, isn't it? Like, with the grip on the whole family and the film itself.
Yeah.
It's a sad story, but it's also kind of inspiring.
Yeah.
You know, the hard work and dedication they all put in.
Yeah. It's really good. Like I say, it stuck the whole way. Nearly all year. Was it January or February? And
yeah,
it's really good.
I mean, we've even got Lily James in this film as well.
I'm not forgetting in any cast.
It's just that she's quite a big name. I mean, Trevor Guerrero was in here somewhere.
Yeah, he is.
I can't remember who he was. I think he played a wrestler.
Yeah, he did. And he helped choreograph, I think,
Yeah.
some of the fights.
I mean, the wrestling fights are great when you see them in this, the wrestling matches. I was kind of hoping they were going to release director's cut where you get full matches, because apparently they filmed full matches.
Yeah.
So
they wanted to get the highlight. They show the highlights of each of those matches. And
I mean, maybe on the Blu-ray you can watch the matches. I hope. I need to find the Blu-ray and look into that actually. But yeah, great film.
I loved it.
Great docudrama or biopic, whatever you want to call it. I guess if you're into wrestling, it's an important film as well.
Yeah, like I said, I know a lot of people feel the changes are, but I think you get that with a lot of biopics. And to me, it's more of how it really captures what happened. And like I said, I think this captures quite a lot. And like I said, it stuck with me all year, and it balances a lot and stuff as well, because there is some humor in here at times. But I love the family dynamic in it as well. And they all have great chemistry together. Seeing them all together, I think, is what makes it an even sadder story by the end of it as well.
Yeah. I mean, I don't think one family got out of that story unscathed. One family member.
And Zac Efron puts in a hell of a performance.
He's been a great actor for a long time. I think he's one of them where, a little like Robert Pattinson, he gets associated with one set of films.
Yeah, and they're the films they're not really proud of.
No.
But it got them to where they needed to do.
Got them recognised by studios
Yeah.
to be able to go on to other things. Because they're both doing like a lot of great indie films.
Yeah.
To be honest, if we're having Harvey Dent in the Batman Part 2, which is rumoured, if ever that film comes to fruition, he's my dream Harvey Dent choice to go up against Pattinson. I think he's got the right look for a Harvey Dent, I think, to go against Pattinson and some
Podcast just for you to throw out your suggestions for the Batman Part 2.
Yeah, it's why. What others have I put out there?
You've put quite a few out there.
Can you compile them for me? I don't believe this. This is the first time I've spoken.
Are we on to your number one?
We are. Do you want to take a guess?
I could only throw The Substance at you.
Ching ching. He got it. Ding ding ding.
Really?
Yeah, The Substance is my number one.
Wow.
People always ask for something new. It's inevitable. At 50, well, it stops.
Written and directed by, I'm hoping I'm saying the name right, it's a French name, Coralie Fagy, or Fagia. I think the T is silent.
I'm not seeing it written down.
I don't understand French. But yeah, written and directed by Coralie Fagia, starring Debbie Moore, Margaret Qualley, Dennis Quaid, and the synopsis of IMDb as it is: a fading celebrity takes a black market drug, a cell-replicating substance that temporarily creates a younger, better version of herself. Man, what a film. Paying so much homage to like the 80s era as well. You know, it's Cronenberg, it's a little bit of Society by, is it Brian Yuna who did Society? Just a great film. I loved it so much. The performances were great. The premise is great. It's kind of Jekyll and Hyde. It's also a little bit Dorian Gray. You know, there's like some really old school gothic horror in there with this like body horror. And it looks phenomenal. It really, really does. It's shot so well. And the performances are great. Truly are great. Demi Moore is incredible. A lot of people are talking about Margaret Qualley, which, yes, she's great, but I think it's a shame, considering what the film is about, subject matter-wise, that they're overlooking Demi Moore. And Dennis Quaid has one of the best horror sequences I've ever seen.
Yeah.
Where he's eating the pros.
Dennis Quaid is a scene stealer in this. So it's the highlight of the film for me.
I'll be honest, it was his part in the trailer, where he's like coming down that Shining themed like hallway marching. There's like such a weird like joyous march as he enters like with other producers in there down that corridor. He's so good in it. And there's like what every pretty girl needs is a smile. Yeah, he is. And yes, he's good. Yes, he steals the scenes, but I don't think he overshadows the film. It's just great when he's in it. But I think it's an amazing look at the way women are treated in Hollywood specifically, thematic-wise. But I think the story is great. It's so fun. It's so visceral. And I love how it manages to balance that last act and get it to work. I've seen some people slate the film for the last part. It's like, oh, I was all on board with it. And then it just becomes that at the end. It's like, that's the idea. Like, the film wouldn't work without that, you know? It's the perfect conclusion for this story, and it's so good. And there's so many, like, little funny moments in it, like the bit where, because she has to go to a certain, like, container to pick up the substance out of this crate.
Yeah.
But, like, it's so funny how she has to, like, crouch under this little doorway in and stuff. It's just so good. It's one of the best-looking films of the year as well. I just couldn't not have this at number one. This is the one that nearly always stayed in place.
Yeah.
I think I had it at 2 at one point, but it's always been in the top 10, never shifting lower than 2 or 3. Yeah, I just had no other choice for it to be number one, I guess. I need to get it on Blu-ray, to be honest. There's been some great Blu-ray releases of it that look fantastic.
I think you can get it with the substance itself.
Yeah.
Like, or in that sort of box or something that it comes in. yeah, I enjoyed it.
I mean, the transformation, I think, is really good. I don't want to spoil it, but the transformation scene doesn't go how you think it would go.
No, it's quite unique in a lot of aspects. I didn't really see how that was.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was really unexpected. Plot-wise, I could kind of see where it was going.
But you kind of just have fun with that and watching the struggle as well, I think. I mean, it'd be easy to compare it to a drug addiction as well, I think, because it kind of has that element there anyway, but
what it is.
that's like a metaphor for other things, isn't it, I guess,
Yeah.
as well. Such a great film. And can I guess your number one?
Sure, I think it.
Furiosa.
I forget that film. You should be able to guess my number one.
Late Night with the Devil.
No,
Sting.
no, you should be able to guess.
Abigail.
No, you really should be able to
Good.
guess more.
The Instigators.
Instigators. I watched it so recent that I couldn't have enough thought process about it.
Yeah, I know, I'm sorry.
I'm sure I could have knocked something. I was looking at my list, like, can I put this here? And I was thinking, is this recency bias? Do we really want it here? And I was just looking at it.
I haven't got it on my honourable mentions because we watched it so recently, but I would tell people to go watch Doug Liman's Instigators. It's on Apple. I'm guessing it's another film Apple refused to release in the cinemas like they did with Wolf.
I will say that it is in my honourable mentions just because as soon as we watched it, I was like, I think this.
I agree.
Being in my 10. But no. Do you want any more guesses? Or?
Wolves.
No.
Fallen Leaves.
No, you really should have been able to guess it because you read it out already.
Have I?
Yeah.
Oh.
And I'm quite surprised at where you had it.
Heretic.
No.
Terrifier 3.
No.
Oh, American Fiction.
Yes. Well, that's my number
Yo, that was my number 10.
That was my number 1.
Your books are good, but they're not popular. Editors, they want a black book.
They have a black book. I'm black, and it's my book.
You know what I mean.
This is another one. Again, watched it so early in the year. Yeah. And it stayed with me throughout the whole year. And as soon as I watched that as well, again, I was just like, well, this is in my top 10. I've been switching around my top 2 since.
I'm good. I still haven't read Erasure, the book that it's based on, since. I've had it on my wish for stealth since watching the film.
Yeah, I'd like to read it as well because this film was just, well, it's my
I can't think who, but I'd heard someone speak of the novel Erasure before about how good it is before this film went into production.
Jeffrey Wright in this, it's just phenomenal. Yeah.
He's a great actor. Always has been.
Yeah. You love him because of the Batman, though.
I actually like him because of, I think it's called Detox over here.
With Stallone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's where I first saw him, I think.
Yeah.
Or it's definitely where I recognised him.
Right.
Then I saw him in Bond.
Yeah.
I was like, that's that guy from that Stallone movie.
Yeah.
And then I've seen him do, countless other things because he's amazing in the Westworld series.
Shall I read the synopsis for this, just in case anyone doesn't know?
Yeah, sure.
A novelist who's fed up with the establishment profiting from black entertainment uses a pen name to write a book that propels him into the heart of hypocrisy and madness he claims to disdain. My God, I just love that. The book he writes under that pen name, it is.
It goes for like all the racial tropes of a black story, doesn't it?
Yeah, and it's
a great satire.
Yeah, I loved it, clearly. Like I said, number 1.
Also, it's the director's first direct.
Yeah, it's
not the first time writing though, because they overlooked a lot of the second season of Master and None.
Right.
They wrote some of The Watchmen.
Yeah, okay. The editor on the Watchmen series, which I think he was editor on. So I don't think he had writing duty. But yeah, it's such a great film. Like I said, it stuck with me throughout the year. So mainly for Jeffrey Wright. Sterling K. Brown.
Yeah, great.
Yeah, he plays his brother in
the sister as well. I can't remember her name. She was really good.
Dexter, again, this is another one. It stuck with me all year, and I just thought, if it stuck that long, it must be...
It's also one of them that's never left my top 10.
Yeah.
It's shifted around.
Yeah.
I just found it hard to get it in my top 5.
I found it easy. They're just great, and they've been there all along. So, and all the other films in my list, I feel, were just like in the catch-up.
Yeah. It definitely seems like your list is recency bias.
A lot of the films I had in my top 10 before that catch-up, I was like, that is so generic and boring. And, well, not boring, but some of them, I just...
Obvious choices.
Yeah.
I'm very surprised Heretic isn't in your top 10. Upon watching it, and the fun we had watching it, I was certain that was going to be in your top 10. I'd like to say I've tried to put a good mix in my film.
I think my thing with Heretic was Hugh Grant is so good in it. I felt he was overshadowing the entire movie for me. And I couldn't see the rest of the movie because of his performance. And it's a great performance.
It is. But I think that's the point of the film. Is he is the lead part of the film, really. Without his character, the film doesn't work. So you need all that gravitas, right?
But I felt like it was that was just overshadowing everything. Yeah, you could ask me about anything else in the film. I just didn't care as long as he was in it. And it didn't matter who the people were in that room, as long as he was the guy. I could have seen numerous versions of that film with other people.
You want to go through some honourable mentions then?
I'm happy to. I can probably list a few straight off the bat.
Delicious! You take me to all the finest places.
Like I said, Instigators, I've mentioned, I feel I've said why that isn't even in my top 10. It's so recent. I watched it yesterday. I'm so upset I couldn't put that anywhere because I didn't have any time to.
I would have thrown it in my honorable mention.
I gave myself about a week at least just to think things through. I was throwing things out and I'm just like, why have I done that? But yeah, so I'm just going to name 3 films that probably could have been in.
Yeah.
I think it's a bit obvious if I said we've already sort of talked about them on the podcast this year. Sting, 60 Minutes.
Okay, 60 Minutes, yeah.
Hellboy the Crooked Man. I could have put all 3 of those in my top 10, but I thought I've already talked about how much I like those.
Hellboy Crooked Man's probably the best comic book film from this year.
Definitely is. Excluding Madam Web, of course.
Yeah, that's second place for comic book film.
Right, that wasn't number 1 for you.
Well, you'll be surprised because I haven't read my honorable mentions yet.
All right, but yeah,
I'll give you a clue. There's 3 Sony films.
It's Venom 3, as we mentioned earlier, and Craven. Yeah.
With Madam Web.
Is there any honourable mentions you want to mention?
I've got about 9 honourable mentions, I guess, because we spoke about one. Because one of my honourable mentions was Me, Myself, and the Void, because even though it couldn't be in my top 10, I felt it was worth discussing.
Right.
I guess I'll just go from one of my top 10s was actually a late December release last year, which is another reason it's not in my top 10. But I think it had a very limited release, which is why I didn't get to see it while February. It's Monica. It's a drama thriller about a trans woman.
Yeah.
But it's a really, really well shot, well told, well acted film. Sadly, I can't remember who wrote and directed it, and I ain't got the IMDb pages up. I've also got Honora in there from Sean Baker, who did Florida Project. Loved Florida Project. Loved Honora. One of the funniest films of the year, strangely. And I think I really need to watch his other films because I loved Florida Project and I loved Honora.
Yeah.
Another one, I wasn't sure how I felt about it when we saw it in the cinemas. Mostly because I'm still not sure if I like the ending all that much, but it's a 90s set Chinese crime thriller based on Mistakes by the River by Yu Hua, directed by Wei Shujin, written by Chun-Li Kang, and the director's also a writer as well. Wei Shujin also co-wrote it with Chun-Li Kang, but it's Only the River Flows.
Right.
I was hoping it was going to be a bit more like Memories of Murder and Seven and stuff than it was.
Yeah.
I really enjoyed the performance work and I loved the look of it.
Yeah.
Narratively, though, I think it was a bit of a muddle for the end.
Yeah.
I was hoping I could watch it again, but I just haven't found the time.
Yeah.
Because maybe if I had, it could have been top 10 or more favourably discussed anyway. But I just thought it's worth discussing with it being a non-English language film as well. So it's just worth to highlight. I've also got Fallen Leaves as an honourable mention when we're speaking about non-English films.
Yeah.
Which was a Finnish rom-com set in Helsinki, written and directed by Eiki Kaurismäki.
Yeah.
That was a really good romantic comedy drama, I guess. Because
Yeah.
it was, but that looked great. The performances were so real and, you know, it felt like a genuine love story, I guess. And then I've got more, I guess, schlocky films that I just really enjoyed. Wolves, Abigail, Sting.
All right.
Wolves felt like a lot of them 90s thrillers that I used to like watching, action thrillers. And when we watched The Instigators, I thought it would have paired very well with Wolves. I was so looking forward to watching Wolves in the cinema. I'm truly gutted that Apple pulled it from cinemas. And apparently John Watts, the writer-director, had a trilogy planned, and that's not moving forward now, even though Apple wanted him to.
Wolves, for me, I think was one of them. If I had watched in cinema, I think it would have made top 10.
Definitely.
Because I think watching on TV, it really does take a lot. Even though a lot of ours, and I never watched in cinema.
Yeah.
And
Those are the sort of films that you'd find like late night when browsing channel hopping, you know, and when it's like that, I think when you do watch it on telly, it doesn't matter because there's like a weird charm to it.
Yeah.
But I think every film benefits from being seen on big screen. And
part of it was I was so looking forward to it in cinema that when I did actually watch it, I enjoyed it, but at the same time, in the back of my mind, I was like, I really want to see this.
Sting, we did a mini-sode on, so I'm not going to say too much.
Yeah, I mentioned that.
I really like Sting though.
Yeah.
Abigail, similar to Sting for me.
I had a lot of fun.
Yeah, it's from the guys that did the later Scream films and Ready or Not.
Yeah. I heard it in my honourable mentions because I love Kevin Durant in that movie.
And obviously, for me, it was
Stevens.
Yeah, Dan Stevens.
That was in my original top 10 until we started doing the catch-up and I was like, I can go.
Yeah.
I was throwing a load out.
So Sting and Abigail were in mine, and so were the next two I was going to say. The more indie horror. Late Night with the Devil.
Yeah.
It's an honourable mention for me.
Yeah, I had that down as well.
I find it hard to categorise it as horror.
Yeah.
It feels more satirisation of the late night talk show than it does a horror film.
Yeah.
But I truly loved it, and it was nice to see Das Melchin have like a lead role.
Yeah.
And then my other honourable mention I thought was going to be top 10 for sure. It was an early watch. I'm not sure when. Stars Sydney Sweeney. It's Madam Web.
Who are you? What is going on? I can see the future.
No, it's Immaculate. I loved Immaculate so much. It was in my top 5 for a while. Then it went into my top 10. Then it went back into my top 5. Then it went back down to the bottom half of the top 10. And then it just had to be an honourable mention when I was looking at it with everything else. No, I thought Immaculate was a truly phenomenal film and a very old school style horror film that you don't quite get anymore.
Yeah.
I don't understand the people that like The First Omen, is it called?
Yeah.
The prequel, because
That was bad.
it was just a terrible version of Immaculate.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've seen people not like Immaculate but love The First Omen, and I'm wondering which way around they've watched them. Because I'm wondering if you watch one first, it's hard to like the other because of how similar they are.
Yeah.
But I just didn't find the cinematography or the characters of First Omen as interesting as the ones in Immaculate.
Yeah.
Plus, I truly love the end for Immaculate that I won't spoil. One of my favourite movie endings of the year. But they're my honourable mentions.
Yeah. I had Maxine in my list for a while because I did love the cinematography of it. I enjoyed it more than you did.
Yeah, I mean, I preferred it to Pearl. Pearl seems to be everyone's favourite out of that trilogy. Mine is X, and I was hoping Maxine was going to be like X but 80s.
Yeah. I love the fact they went different. It is very slasher movie at the time as well. I did really love it.
Oh, I did.
It was easy to throw out.
Same. I think the ending's weak. It really needed a rewrite for that ending.
I added another one into my honourable mentions, which was Oddity.
Great film.
I love the horror.
That actually had a jump scare that got me.
Yeah.
And I was watching it at home.
Yeah. I think it did suspense really well directed. The story was
Ivan.
Oh, man. Ivan is probably the best character in cinema history for me right now.
He's kind of the problem with the film because he's so terribly either written and or acted.
I loved him. He was great. Nothing wrong with him for me. This was one where it was just like, oh man, if it had really just ironed that out a bit, it would have probably been in my top 10 for sure, but it didn't belong there, unfortunately.
No, that was great. Like folk horror, isn't it, really?
Yeah. Really, really well done.
There are a lot of your favourite films involving the missing people and sensory handicapped. Is that the right way of saying it?
Yeah, I guess.
You've got blind and deaf people in your... It's like you're trying to find the perfect cast to play a mean pinball, if anybody gets that reference.
I did surprisingly well at predicting what would be in your top 10. I have 7 of 10.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Do you have it written so I can see for proof?
I put B's next to them. So there's The Substance, which was not even an honourable mention for me.
Shocking.
And then all the others were like honourable mentions. So I do have like Heretic, Terrifier 3, Hundreds of Beavers. And then I have American Fiction, The Iron Claw, Boy Kills World. I did think Me, Myself, and the Void would make it.
I thought it was. Like I said, it was in there.
I thought Wolves was going to be in there, and maybe like with the
I
Devil.
thought Wolves was going to be in yours. One of the reasons Wolf wasn't in mine is because I thought it was going to be in yours.
That was kind of one of the really high to have it in mind.
Such a great premise as well.
I feel we pulled a bit of a Wolves ourselves. I said Instigators I thought was better than Wolves, so I thought that might give it away that I would not have Wolves.
Oh, for me that meant that you'd also put Instigators somewhere in yours and had to root one out.
I was looking, I kept thinking, Life After Fighting could pour it, and then I just kept thinking, no, because I didn't.
Isn't it amazing that both Wolves
tonight
and Instigators, it's like
Ocean's 11.
They're both Ocean's 11. Yeah.
Yeah.
They'd make a great night in.
Yeah.
If you've got your free Apple trial or whatever, or you do actually have Apple TV, those two films are well worth pairing together.
Yeah.
I don't understand why Wolf's got so many mixed to negative ratings.
I don't know.
I found it...
Brad Pitt and George Clooney are just great.
They're too good together.
Yeah.
And strangely, Matt Damon and Casey, although that I should have known from Good Will Hunting, because they have a bit of banter in that at some point, that's really good.
Yeah.
But they're your honourable mentions then. That's all of them.
Yeah.
Can I just see your list with the B's next to him for me?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah? He's not lying, people. He's got them.
I removed the B's when they never got brought up, like Me, Myself, and the Void. I had so that was an honourable mention. And
I didn't expect 60 Minutes to be an honourable mention for you.
I said at the time this would probably go be in my top 10.
Yeah, I know you did. Obviously, we watched a lot since then.
Yeah, we watched a lot since then, and it was a good action film. And
yeah, great.
I just feel, for me, Life After Fighting was probably a better.
I realised that some of the best action films haven't been in cinemas.
Yeah.
Well, the best place to see action.
Yeah. Life After Fighting to me was just a better action film to me. And The Silent Hour with just Joel Kinnaman, so I'm really upset I didn't get to see that Joel Kinnaman and Nicolas Cage film from last year.
Oh, well. You saw that other one from last year where he didn't have a voice.
Yeah.
You're just waiting for him to play a blind guy.
Yeah.
And he'll be the guy that plays the mean pinball.
Yeah. Nicolas Cage, I feel, let me down this year.
Yeah, he had that quite interesting post-apocalyptic one, Arcanian.
Yeah.
But
it weren't
really
how it going to be.
The premise is great.
Yeah. And Longlegs, that was probably going to be in my top, but the ending
would
really...
The ending laid it down for me, and the fact it was just so obvious where the plot was going didn't really help me. I loved the aesthetic. I loved the performances a lot. Cinematography was a real treat on it.
One I did keep thinking about just with one performance alone, and that was Trap with Josh Hartnett.
Yeah.
Josh Hartnett really made that movie, so I would say like, no, it's just Josh Hartnett. Yeah. I did a similar thing with Heretic where I was just like, is this just Hugh Grant? And I eventually thought, you know what, I can put something else in.
I quite like your top 10.
Yeah, I think I went for a good mix.
I tried to mix mine up, and I thought I had, but when I've seen them written down now, it's like, actually, it's just like horror, thriller, drama.
When I originally did my top 10, I was looking and I was like, that's a lot of like horror thrillers, and I ended up just removing them all. And then when I've come to record, I've been like, what happened to all my horror thrillers? I had like a list of 6 in here. I mean, you could even get away with Hundreds of Beavers as being a horror thriller. If you look at it from the lead guy's perspective. Yeah, that was a great one. That was an honourable mention.
I'm glad you had Me, Myself, and the Void, because I was good. I was taking it out.
Yeah. Honourable mentions, like I said, I had Hundreds of Beavers, Terrifier 3, and Heretic.
But,
all.
I mean, don't take my top 10 serious.
I am, and I'm very devastated. Madam Web, Craven, and Venom 3 are not your trifecta.
Hey, I had a lot of fun with Madam Web. It's probably my favourite out of those Sony non-Spider-Man films.
Madam Web and Craven were definitely the better ones of those, and everyone did not like them.
I think I'm even taking Morbius over Venom.
I think I will, just the fact there's no sequels to Morbius to really let it down. The letdown is already in that one film.
I mean, they're already kind of samey, especially the Venom films.
Yeah.
Like, every Venom film is just aggressively mediocre.
They are.
It's like, it's doing so much right, and they're doing so much wrong, and then they got a sequel, and they don't correct that.
I don't know, that for me, they've got Tom Hardy, who is also, for me, aggressively mediocre. I do not understand the like for that man.
I was very disappointed with the Bike Riders when we got around to watching it.
Yeah. I remember looking forward to that, and then the trailer came out, and I was just like, I don't really care. Then we watched it, and we're just like, I kind of wish I hadn't.
Anyway, that's wrapping up, yeah?
Yeah.
Okay. So that's part 2 of our top 10, or I guess our top 5, concluding our top 10. Thank you for joining us this week, and thank you again for your support through last year. And if you haven't already, click like and subscribe. A glowing review would also be appreciated. We are Cynic_critique on X and Instagram, and Cynic-critique on Blue Sky. Links to those and more can be found in the show's description. And please come back next week to join us as we seek some counselling to discuss 2007's Numb and 2008's The Whackness. Goodbye.
Goodbye.
Have you taken an antipsychotic before?
No, I'm not psychotic. I already asked if I was psychotic, and apparently that proves that I'm not psychotic.